Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kerbal Space Program 0.2, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Okay, so, right, we have some bad news and good news today. The bad news! Let's go for the bad news first, that way I can surprise you with the good news. The bad news is, with this new update, all my saves, kind of went kaput, and I don't know where they went. They just disappeared into the ethos, and they're gone. I have no explanation. I don't even know what happened. They're just gone, and I really am not happy about that. And so, with saves gone, that means that all the work we did on the Legend of Kethane is gone. All of it is gone. It's all gone. But do not fear, because this is where the good news comes in. Today, in this first episode of Series 2, I guess it's Series 2, because we're starting a whole new thing, I guess. But in this new episode, we are going to make up for the fact that everything has just been eaten by the Kraken. So yes, today we're going to be flying some ships. Look at him, he's very excited about this, isn't he? So we're going to fly some ships. We're going to start a new game, and we're going to redo everything that we lost. We're going to fight against this terrible tragedy that we've had. I would say we're going to start a new game, but really, I've already kind of made a new game, because I've been working for the past maybe day now, making all these ships, and I've tested a few of them out, and I've worked out some of the kinks. I'm sure I will have some problems, but I have decided that we are going to try and land on the moon multiple times with multiple ships. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Let us go now. Right now you have been listening to live commentary me, but seeing as these missions will take a crap ton of time, I've decided that I'm going to do post-commentary, because not only will I be able to actually talk about things that are half decent, I am also going to know what's happening, so I will not be surprised by anything. Whoop-de-doo. So over to you, Mr. Post-Commentary Luke. So, folks, I wish you luck in this grand voyage that we're going to have. Let's do this right now. Hello, it's me in post-commentary. So, the first thing that we're going to launch up is a newly improved Disco K. Now the Disco K, of course, is short for Discovery-Kerbin, because it's going to be discovering this new resource that we found, or relatively new resource, and we are going to be turning now north. Now the reason why we're turning north, of course, is because we're going to be mapping the surface of Kerbin, and we're going to be mapping the surface of Kerbin for no particular reason, but we're going to do it anyway, because it's fun, and because it was in the original thing, so it's got to be there. So we sent it up, and it's all fine, and the fuel is, you know, it's getting very close. It's like almost about to run out, but we get there in the end. It's fine, and we disconnect that, and seeing as MechJeb does not have a gyro on it, we have to rely on the gimbling of the engine. Of course, that entails turning on the engine and kind of hitting the thing out of the way, and it's kind of messy, but we do it nonetheless, and we use the gimbal to turn this thing around a wee bit. It takes a wee bit of time, but you know, it's fine. We get it down, we do it, and we turn up and smash it into the Earth, or Kerbin, whatever. Please don't kill me for saying Earth. But anyway, we activate this, and it's all good, it's all fine. We use RCS to straighten out our orbit, seeing as we hit it earlier, and that's it, we've got it. Now, back down to Kerbin, where we shall launch the second of our two satellites, which is the Disco M. Now the Disco M is the same satellite as before, with a different launcher. The launcher is not asparagus staging, and it failed there miserably, but you know, we get it up in the end. It's not asparagus staging, it's the staging in which all the outer tanks flow into the middle one, and then the outer ones peel off. I have no idea what you would call that, but yeah, that's what it is. It does this really weird wobble, it looks as if we're about to lose control, but you know, it's fine, it gets up and it stabilizes. I drop out those tanks, and doing this means that we hit the wee bit, and it means that MechJeb is not allowed to calculate our orbit correctly. Eventually, this means that our orbit, when being circularized, is not actually circular, and it goes within the atmosphere. So I set up another node, telling it to circularize in approximately 30 seconds, and it does that rather well. Now comes the point at which we have to put it out to the moon. Now, we have to get it into an orbit around the moon which is polar. The reason for that being is the same reason that we have to get the one around Kerbin being polar, so that we can map the entire surface. More so for the moon, because we do not have the Kethane reserves mapped on the moon yet, and we need that to be able to do the rest of the mission. So we set up our node to do our Hoffman transfer out to the moon, and we just tell MechJeb to execute that node, and it does. It executes that node for us. I put it onto a collision course with the moon. The reason for that being, I originally thought that I had a tank attached to the bottom that I might want to drop into the moon, but turns out I didn't. So what I ended up doing was raising it out of the moon's surface a wee bit, maybe was it 10 kilometers approximately, and then I do my inclination change. Now you do your inclination change when you're furthest away and when you have a high eccentricity in your orbit, because your inclination changes are most efficient then, as opposed to circularizing first and then doing your inclination change, which takes a lot more time and fuel, of course. I then tell MechJeb to circularize me up my periaps, and I mean, I really do like the new features in MechJeb, but I wouldn't usually use them, but seeing as this is a long process of getting everything into orbit, I do kind of get it done. So I deorbit this again, like I would the other one, and we set up this, and we have it orbiting around. Later on, I come back after about 20 minutes of letting it sit there and do its thing, and I have a look for good Kethane reserves, so that I know where I can land. Now it needs to be flat as well, because if I find a place that has lots of Kethane but has a very, very bumpy land, then I won't be able to land. But I find that, and it's all good, and then I decide to launch this thing, which is the Kethane miner. Now the miner is not only going to actually be mining, but it's also going to be almost the target for all the other ships, so I can know by sight where this Kethane reserve is, so I don't have to keep on having the detector on each ship. So this thing has a few detectors on the side, and it looks quite nasty. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth has this idiot put docking ports and this weird craney arm out on the side? Now the reason for that being, while we just look out over the beauty of Kerbin from this new cockpit, the reason for this being is because the mod, the quantum fuel transfer system mod, seems to not work with KSP 0.2. But I figured, why not? Let's go with the docking ports, and we can see what we can do with docking ports. And I came up with this idea where you could get a buggy or a rover and dock it onto the bottom of it, and then drive it to your fuel transfer and so on. Now we come in for our landing, and the fuel was a bit messed up. I have no idea why, but I thought, oh, it's fine. Oh wait, no, it's not. It was awkward. Yeah, engine shut off. But a landing you can walk away from is a fine. It's a fine landing if you can walk away from it. And Jebediah Kerman, he hates solar panels, so if he has the chance, he will destroy those solar panels. So he's taken off 2. He has violently murdered 2 solar panels. And he's a terrible person. He's a mass murderer. Anyway, we get him out of the ship, and he walks over, smug as ever, and plants his flag, and we just name it the landing site, Kethane Base 1, and we say it was a bumpy ride, but we got there in the end as the flag. We then head back up into the miner because Jeb's being grounded. He's grounded for breaking those solar panels. Next up, the habitation module and the sky crane. Now, oh, this thing was a pain. Not in flying as much as it was in design. The module itself, the habitation module, was fine. I never had any problems with that. But the sky crane, on the other hand, was another deal altogether. And the sky crane had to go through a few iterations because what was happening was the exhaust of the sky crane was hitting off of the rest of the habitation module, and the force from the engine was then being cancelled out by the force of the exhaust hitting the habitation module, meaning we didn't get the thrust from two engines. What that meant in the end was that MechJeb was calculating the time for landing wrong. Now, usually I would land on my own, but as I've said before, this is a long mission, and really I'm crap at landing, full stop. I always like to land in atmosphere with stuff. But anyway, we get this down after all the new designs, and you know me, let's get it even closer. Nothing but perfection. So we head on over, we come back up after quick saving, and we just kind of shuggle ourselves over. And we just come down slowly, and drop it right there. Oh, okay. It's fine. You know, as I said before, a landing you can walk away from is fine. This guy's alive, the habitation module's completely fine. There's no reason to redo this mission. It was a success, but you know, there was a wee bit of mess in the background. You know, maybe we should clean that up a bit. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. No one will ever know. It's completely just inconspicuous. No one will ever find out. Okay, next thing. So, now as for the fuel shuttle. Now this kind of went disastrously. First disaster, thing fell off the side. Second disaster, thing toppled around and kind of killed itself and exploded in many different ways. And third disaster, span around like mad and kind of tried to kill itself, and then did kill itself eventually. And fourth disaster, just span around again, and I stopped it and I decided, right, okay, let's turn off MechJeb. So I'm doing this by hand, and it's brilliant. It's gonna be fine. Oh yes, I've turned off MechJeb. It's all good. It's gonna be perfect, isn't it? Yes, it's gonna be absolute. Oh, what's that? Oh no! Boom! And it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. Turns out I didn't actually turn off the whole of MechJeb. This time I did. I turned off everything to do with MechJeb. MechJeb is no longer active on this, so I turned it all off, and we're doing fine now. So we go up. We're launching up now. I'm using all of this RCS. You're probably screaming at me, why are you using the RCS? Don't use the RCS. That's useful for turning and stuff. It's a massive ship. I'd say to you, yes, I usually agree with you. But in this specific occasion, I need to use the RCS because this RCS needs to be filled up when we land on the moon. It needs to be empty so that we can fill it up and bring it back up. So I figure we might as well use it, seeing we've got a ton of it. So we land eventually on the moon after the Hoffman transfer. We land down, and again, it's too far away. It's not close enough. But this time, instead of hopping over and destroying my ship, I decided I'd try this little tactic that I think I saw Scott Manley use. It wasn't perhaps exactly like this, but he used something along the lines of this, using the keep surf method. Except what I did was I decided to use RCS, seeing as I have a ton of it. So I said keep surf, which keeps me kind of there. And I turned on RCS and just shoved myself, translated over with the RCS, and then I dropped out, and everything was pretty much went smoothly. You know, it was a wee bit weird landing right here. You know, it was kind of awkward, but you know, it was fine. It was a bit bumpy, but you know, we got down in the end. Now for the final thing. Now this is the fuel buggy I've got here. Now the fuel buggy, originally this launch was intended as a test launch to see how much fuel it would take to get it into orbit, but it went so well that I decided just to use it as the actual thing. So I just started recording here instead of launching it up, and I got it up fine, and we were just using this one small nuclear engine and The fuel buggy has a couple of fuel tanks on it anyway, so we can use the fuel from that, and that takes us out to Moon. And we get here, and we land. No, we don't. And we do a backflip, and it's kind of awkward, and it explodes and does some weird stuff. And I'm rolling around on the floor, saying, "Come on, if I roll it enough, I'll get it back up. It'll be fine." And it's not. It really isn't. I just roll around, and I look like an idiot now, looking back on it. But you know. In the end, I figure, what the frick? Let's get Jeb out, and he can do it. But oh no, wait, he doesn't like solar panels. No, oh wait, no, boom! And Jebediah Kerman, the solar panel mass murderer. I'm telling you, he hates the things. Ah, Jebediah Kerman. Anyway, I can't believe him. I can't believe Jeb. He's terrible. Anyway, what we decide to do is we RCS over, we use his jetpack fuel, and it's all good, but it just takes a while, and it takes a bit more, and a bit more, and we keep going, and it takes a long time. I'm starting to think, hold on a second, are we going to have enough RCS fuel to get there? Well, folks, we didn't, and we had to stop. But, you know, me, I tried and tried, but alas, to no avail, and I just loaded from a quick save and landed and drove this thing over. So we come over here and we try to dock with this to see how it works. Now I've got a built-in one of these ports here, you can see, and I thought, you know, it'll be fine. I'll just use this little gear thing I've got going. Turn all the gears, or the RCS or something. No, nothing whatsoever. No. Right, maybe it's just that docking port. I'll go over and check the other one, will I? No, it's not that one. Okay, how about if I... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we had to turn off the gears on that to get it to dock. It's a pain, but, you know, at least we know it can dock. So, yeah, I go through all of this. I load all the fuel into that. I go through a whole bunch of fuel transferring, liquid fuel first, and then I put in the oxidizer after that, and it's all fine, it's all good, it goes relatively well, and it all smoothly, all fine. And this is the process in which I have to go through to put fuel into this rover, and it's a long process, but you know, I figure it's worth it. So there we go, we just detach that there. And I figure I'll let Jeb have a go. Why not? Okay, Jeb, get in. There you go. Good boy. Right. And just take him out of the seat. Right. There you go. Right. Oh, where is he? Where's he off? Oh, no, Jeb. No. Don't you dare, Jeb. Jeb, I swear. Okay. Don't. Thank you, Jeb. Good boy. Don't break the solar panels. There you go. Now you stay there. Do not move. I'm gonna move the car out. You better frickin' stay there. Don't break the solar panels. Good boy. Okay, so we bring Jeb over, and I was very angry at him for standing on those solar panels, but he didn't break them, thankfully. So we drive over to the fuel transfer thing, the thing that's going to be taking the fuel back up to an orbital base when we get round to making it, which, alas, will not be in this video. Well, because, it takes too long. We try the gear thing again on this, and it doesn't work, and we try lowering those gears, doesn't work. We try lowering the inside gears, doesn't work. We try lowering both gears at the same time, definitely doesn't work. We switch back to try and get this thing out, and we squidge ourselves out of there eventually after some real mess there. We open up the docking port again. Maybe it was just that docking port, but no. How about the other one? No, doesn't look like it's working. Okay, so if we go in here, now I decided I'd try a couple of weird things with the legs, the wheels on this. How about if I just lower two of them? No. How about if I lower just all of them but one? No. Okay. How about if I switch over, turn off one leg, switch back, and then use RCS? Yes, there we go. So RCS is the answer. And well, we do what we did before, except in the opposite direction. And all is well. So we head over so we can get a nice cinematic shot now of these Kerbals. Thank you very much for watching. Legend of Kethane is now back on track. We can now continue in peace, knowing that the Kerbals will have other worlds to visit after they colonize the moon. Thank you for watching, have a great day. That's all from me now. Goodbye.